Let's speak with Caroline Farrow, journalist, writer and commentator. Caroline, you know what it's like to be the long arm of the law to show up because of something you think and dared to put it into writing, as it were. What happened?
Well, in my case, it wasn't even over something that I had written. It was over a meme that potentially could be offensive, and potentially I could have posted this meme. So on a Monday night, it was about 4:30 in the afternoon. I was cooking the chicken for my family for dinner. My husband had just recovered from COVID. I just thought I'd do a hearty meal. My elder children were coming home from secondary school and they saw this police car at the door, and I was upstairs. I just put the chicken in the oven, got upstairs, sorted the laundry. My husband says, "Caroline, there's some police at the door and they want to speak to you," and they literally came to arrest me, and it was in front of all of my children. The youngest two have autism, so they were really very distressed over it. They took all my devices. They tried to take the children's switches.
What, really? Wow.
Yeah,
what is that device thing? Why it doesn't work with any other? I mean, I know it's about technology in the digital world, this story, to a degree, but the idea that all of your devices are removed and put in an evidence bag, I mean, they don't do that if you go shoplifting, do they? They don't go round your house and go, better take your laptop away in case you've got plans in your hard drive for more shoplifting. It never happens, but nonetheless, so what was it you supposedly printed?
I hadn't. I mean, this was a funny thing. It was a meme posted on a different forum by someone pseudonymously. So it wasn't me. It wasn't even my meme. But the complainant had said, "Oh, it's definitely Caroline. She's posted very similar memes on her Twitter feed." No, I hadn't. So literally the police said, and I know this because we are taking legal action against the police, so they've had to justify the arrest. The reason that they gave for the arrest was they were searching my devices for deleted tweets that might link me to this meme.
God.
I hadn't even. And the funniest thing was when this poster. I often play the church organ on a Sunday, and this poster had often posted on a Sunday while I was in church. There was no professional skepticism by the police. There was nothing. So they took all my devices. They had them for 16 months. They then came and arrested me again because the complainant complained again. And basically they said that I was motivated by hostility because the complainant was transgender. And at one point they brought forward this stalking protection order, and it would have banned. They said I was stalking him, right? No way. And they wanted to ban me from the internet. They wanted me to
ban you from the internet. I mean, this is beyond. People in China would be going, blimey, we don't even do that.
They wanted to assign me. I hadn't even been convicted of anything. This was a scary thing. They wanted to assign me an offender manager, and this person, I would have had to, if I wanted to text my mum, I would have had to have asked
for goodness sake.
My kids. And this person, this order would have given the police the right to come into my house at any time between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. and look at everybody's devices, not just mine, my children's. Unfortunately, when it went to court, we had enough evidence on us to say this is a load of nonsense, this is politically motivated, and it didn't even get into the courtroom. And then it got sent off to the CPS. And the CPS said, look, we haven't even got enough. This is, it didn't even meet the first limb of the evidential test. But it is really, really frightening that, the police can take such draconian action over an offensive meme that I hadn't even posted. They were trying to turn my life. If they'd been...
Of course. I get that people can do offensive things that do break the law, whether that's libel or contempt or incitement. All those things are already illegal, and we all mostly understand that. But I think we also know when we see it of something that, I mean, particularly when it's something you hadn't even done, but just based on somebody. Do you think it's because? Do you think the police want to be involved in the digital world because it makes them look like they understand the new world? What do you think's happening here?
I think it's low-hanging fruit. I think there's a couple of things going on. I think, firstly, the police have been, unfortunately, indoctrinated by lobby groups, and they seem to have lost all basic intelligence. So they've been indoctrinated by these lobby groups, and they genuinely think that someone like me, I'm an Orthodox Catholic who has, socially conservative views. They genuinely think I'm a terrible person and I shouldn't be allowed to express these views, and therefore I'm automatically suspect on account of my views. Secondly, the complainant was transgender. The complainant themselves has a very checkered background and a litany of criminal offences themselves, but that wasn't thrown into the balance, the trustworthiness of the complainant. And I think they were just all too willing to say, oh my goodness, here we have a victim, here we have a protected minority, a transgender person, they're protected, and it's low-hanging fruit.
And it's also, dare I say, Caroline, I mean this in the obvious sense of the word, it's a bit sexy as a crime for the police to investigate, right? It's not a tow rag, a shoplifter. It's not, somebody who's parked their car on the neighbour's drive. This is a bit adventurous.
And the funniest thing was when they arrested me. It wasn't funny at the time, although I did. You can imagine I was a little like Alison Pearson. Before they shoved me in this cell, the custody sergeant sort of took one look at me and said, "Oh, okay, what's she in for?" And they said, "Oh, malicious communications." And I said, "It's just a joke." And he said, "Mrs. Farrow, sending offensive emails to people is a crime, And they said, "Oh, no, Sarge, she's not sent any offensive emails. She's allegedly written some offensive things on the internet."
Wow. What you are now aware of, Caroline, that you might not have known at the time, is the Chief Constable of Essex Police has said that hate is one of the biggest threats to the community. What do you make of that?
I mean, it's not. I mean, and there's a hate crime is a crime that is motivated by hate. Is motivated by perceived dislike. So crime is the threat, not what motivates it. Now, where I am in Surrey, a little girl down the road from me, Sarah Sharif, literally Knapp Hill is the next village along. She was brutally murdered by her family, and the trial's ongoing, so I obviously don't want to prejudice that.
Yeah, they are the allegations against members of the family.
But, yeah, that trial's ongoing. Now, this little girl met a savage and brutal death. Now, apparently, the Surrey police... There hasn't been a serious case review yet.
Yeah, but the context of you in one part of the street and horrendous crimes going on elsewhere, it does, naturally, you question where the priorities are. Listen, Caroline, we hit the clock, sadly. We could talk longer on this. Caroline Farrow, journalist, writer and commentator, with us on the programme. I mean, she's cooking the Sunday dinner. It's funny, Alison Pearson, the Telegraph journalist, was, it was Remembrance Sunday. She was doing something similar. Knock at the door. You've been posting stuff. And by the way, you can post stuff that is very bad and illegal and go to jail. That has been the case for a long time. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about people that haven't posted stuff that's illegal or very bad or litigious or inflammatory or insightful. None of that. And that's where it's a bit weird, frankly.